Thanks for joining me on Saturday the 26th of October 2024, where it's finished. Brighton&Hove Albion 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. We still await our first clean sheet for the first time in ages, and the first thing I note that Johnston was probably fit, but Sarr continued in goal. Not surprising after his performance last week. Does that indicate that he's now regained his number one status? We don't know. And another thing to notice is that we started with 5 at the back again, same as against Man City last week, and also that Doyle came in instead of Andre, because I think that João Gomez and Andre are the same player. So if Doyle's going to come in, which he needed to, I think that he was going to come in at the expense of one of those two, because they're both very defensive midfielders, and we need somebody to take the weight off the defence if we've got one of them, and then to take the ball forward, which Doyle does. And it was Doyle, incidentally or ironically, who had the first chance after about 8 minutes, where a good run by Aït-Nouri down the wing, and he blazed over. And after 12 minutes, Welbeck, who proved to be a thorn in our side with his goal later, but he had their first chance and he headed over. And Nelson Semedo, in recent seasons, that Mitoma has been his nemesis, because a couple of seasons ago Semedo got sent off against him, almost exactly 2 years ago. And last season, a game I was at the Molineux, the first home game, we lost 4-1, and Mitoma scored a wonder goal, and he ran rings around Semedo that day, but Semedo played quite well against him today. And well, that was good to see. But Santi Bueno, I thought that he was arguably our best player today. He didn't put a foot wrong, and he added some steel to the defence. And also Dawson won most of the set pieces where we've been vulnerable in the first few games, where we've conceded many corners and set pieces, but Dawson won everything in the air, as he did against Man City last week. But the goal, we couldn't quite see it out to half time, which was disappointing. It was just before half time that it was a poor kick out by Sarr. This has been one of the criticisms aimed at him over the years. He's been pretty good, shot stopper, pretty good with his hands, but at his feet, with his kicking, he's been a liability, and so it proved again today, because his poor kick out went straight to their player, who on our defence they couldn't regather. Defence was scrambled, and their player kicked the ball, Rutter I think it was, kicked the ball to Welbeck through, split the defence, and he tucked it away just before half time. A real sickener, because we'd been pretty competitive, although it was about 60-40% of possession in their favour. They didn't really carve us open or look like scoring, and they're 13 shots to our 3 in the first half. But even though that the statistics say that, it was pretty even, and we didn't really look like conceding before the goal. So went in half time down 1-0, but the second half he made 2 early substitutions, Sarabia and Forbes on for Lamina and Totti, which probably indicates that he switched to 4-4-2. But Larson had a header from a corner on 52 minutes. Gomez was hauled back, João Gomez, after a good break, and it led to a booking on their player. We were pushing for the equaliser without carving them up. There was a careless back pass by somebody just by the halfway line, and it put us under pressure. Welbeck was almost through on goal, but Santi Bueno and Aït-Nouri crowded him out. Cunha shot wide following a break on 65, and Welbeck off and Ferguson on 72, and it was Ferguson who scored the second goal, and we thought that was game over, because 82 minutes, 2-0 down away from home, bottom of the league with our run of form, it looked like game over. But we showed a lot of character. 87 minutes, 8 Nori got a goal from a corner after Dawson tried like a little cheeky bicycle kick, but thankfully it broke to him, and it's about his 4th goal of the season, which is his 2nd highest scorer. And 90 minutes, Guedes on, and it was Cunha. I just popped to the loo and I missed the goal, and but when I came back, I was delighted to see that Cunha had put the ball away. I think that's his 5th goal of the season, and that's a decent point against a team that we've had trouble against in recent seasons. I wouldn't call them the bogey team, because last season we played them 4 times. I went to 2 of them at Molyneux. We put them at the FA Cup. The first home league game of the season, we lost 4-1. That game I mentioned earlier where Mitoma scored and had Semedo on toast. And after that we had them in the 3rd round of the Cup in January, where we drew 1-1 away when Dole got that equaliser when we were down to 10 men, when João Gomez got sent off. And I went to the replay, and we beat them 1-0. And we got an away point 0-0 in the away fixture last season. And again, they're not a bogey side, because when Roman Sace was there in Nuno's days, we did win away. I know it's been a tough start to the season. We're off the bottom because Southampton got beat by Man City, and that will give us a boost of confidence, especially after playing the way we did against Man City. But those teams that we've played and we've been beaten every week by, in last season, in previous seasons, we picked up points against all of them, because Brentford, we lost 5-3. The away fixture, the return fixture last season, we won just after Christmas. We scored 4 away. Man City, we beat us last week. We beat them last season. Arsenal, we've beaten them in recent season. Villa, it was Coronation Day last year. We lost against them 3-1 this season, but Coronation Day last season we were 2-0 away. I think it was that game where we came back and won 3-2. And Chelsea, who've beaten us as well, tonked us 6-2. We did the double over them last season, and so you could say, can we buy that it's been a tough start to the season? Sure, it has been, but the teams what we've played, we've picked up points against them in previous seasons, and there's no reason why we shouldn't have this season. But we've got a couple of home games now. I think it's Bournemouth. That won't be easy, because they're a decent team. I think they drew a Villa today 1-1, and then previously they beaten Arsenal 2-0 last week. And then Southampton, they'll be fancying it themselves, because they're below us, and they see it as a chance to get off the bottom and get an away win, because they played Man City and they hit the bar as well, and they only lost 1-0. So there's a lot to think about today. My Wolves man of the match, it was good to see Doyle doing well, good to see goals from Nori and Cunha, but I'd give it to Santiago Bueno, who's a reassuring figure at the back. And Jose saw his kicks are a liability, but although he's a good shot stopper. But thanks for joining me. Up the Wolves. Bye.